Have you ever wondered, what does love really mean? How to build a relationship that is not only lasting but also happy? In a world where love often burns bright and fades fast, few stop to ask, what makes love endure? Beyond passion and promises, is there a way to love that lasts, calm, deep, and true? The Stoics believed there is. They taught that real love is not about possession, but about presence, not about control, but about understanding. It is a love rooted in virtue, steadied by reason, and warmed by compassion, a love that remains whole, even when the world around it changes. Welcome to the channel, Stoic Love Wisdom. This is where lessons about love will help you better understand this complex emotion. In today's video, we will learn together about what is lasting love. How to make true relationships work. These are things that can change the way you perceive love in life. Be prepared because the secrets and insights you are about to discover may make you look back at yourself and the relationships around you. Before starting, find a quiet space, put on your headphones and relax. Let your mind completely immerse in these shares and enjoy every wonderful moment. Are you ready to discover new things about love? Let's start this journey with us right now. Part 1, the essence of enduring love. Love, it's a word that echoes through every culture, every song, every prayer whispered in the dark. Yet, despite its familiarity, love remains one of the most misunderstood forces in human life. We chase it, lose it, and chase it again, sometimes thinking it's a feeling that must stay intense forever, or a constant high that never fades. But to the Stoics, such an idea of love is fragile, built upon illusions and emotions that change with the seasons. From the Stoic perspective, enduring love is not a flame that burns constantly bright, it's a steady light that survives storms. It doesn't rely on how passionately we feel in the moment, but on how consciously we choose to care, to respect, and to remain virtuous even when feelings waver. Epictetus once said, "When you kiss your child, remind yourself that one day he may die." To modern ears, this sounds cold, even cruel. But at its heart, this reminder isn't about detachment, it's about gratitude and presence. When you remember that everything you love is mortal and temporary, you stop clinging desperately to possession. Instead, you start to cherish deeply, sincerely, without expectation. That's the soil where enduring love grows. Enduring love, through the Stoic lens, is not blind passion but wise affection. It understands that love is not about control, but acceptance, not about perfect compatibility, but growth through difference. In relationships, the Stoic doesn't seek to change the other person to meet their needs. Instead, they focus on mastering themselves, their reactions, their expectations, their ego. Because only a disciplined mind can love freely. Think of love like a garden, passion plants the seed, but discipline tends it. If you only rely on emotion, the flower will bloom quickly and wither just as fast. But if you nurture it with patience, presence, and understanding, it will endure through every season. To love stoically is to love with awareness. It means asking, do I love this person because they fulfill my desires? Or because I admire their character, and wish to share virtue and growth together? The Stoics teach that true love aligns with nature, it flows with reason and integrity, not impulse. In such love, two people don't lose themselves in each other, they strengthen one another's sense of purpose and peace. They don't promise forever blindly, but they act with such sincerity today that forever becomes possible. In our age of instant gratification, this kind of love may seem old-fashioned. But perhaps, it's exactly what the world is starving for. A love rooted in calmness, in choice, in virtue, in truth. And that, me, is where our journey begins, the journey to understand how Stoic wisdom can transform love from something fleeting into something timeless. Part 2, the Stoic understanding of emotions in love. To understand enduring love, we must first understand emotion, for love, in its first appearance, often feels like an emotion. The racing heartbeat, the anticipation, the joy of connection, all these are human experiences, but the Stoics remind us, emotions are neither good nor bad by nature, they are simply signals. What determines their value is how we respond to them. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The same is true in love, we waste much of it on emotional excess, jealousy, fear, control, instead of cultivating calm affection. Emotions are like waves. When we try to resist them, we drown. When we surf them with wisdom, they carry us to deeper understanding. The Stoics did not suppress feelings, they sought to master them. They called this apatheia, not the absence of emotion, but the absence of destructive emotion, those that pull us away from virtue and clarity. In love, this means not letting desire become obsession, or attachment become dependency. A Stoic lover does not suppress affection, they deepen it with reason. They do not love less, they love better. Imagine a relationship where both people are emotionally aware. When conflict arises, they don't lash out, but pause. When one feels distant, the other doesn't panic, but listens. This is not coldness, it's strength. Stoicism teaches us that emotional control is not a cage, but a key. It frees us from the chaos of impulsive reactions, allowing love to flourish in peace. The modern world tells us that real love is passionate, fiery, uncontrollable. But the Stoics would ask, how can something truly be love if it enslaves your peace? True love, they'd argue, should elevate your tranquility, not destroy it. If a love constantly disturbs your balance, it's not love, it's attachment disguised as devotion. To practice Stoic love, begin by watching your emotions without judgment. When you feel jealousy, ask, what am I afraid of losing, and why do I fear it? When you feel anger, ask, is my ego wounded, or my integrity challenged? These reflections do not make love colder, they make it wiser. Enduring love does not fear emotion, but integrates it. It turns passion into purpose, affection into understanding, and longing into appreciation. Such love no longer reacts, it responds. It no longer grasps, it gives. And in that giving, calm, deliberate, and free, it becomes unbreakable. Love is not only about happy moments, but also about challenges that help us realize our inner strength. It is through difficulties that we learn patience, tolerance, and how to love without losing ourselves. This is also the reason why I share stories here, so that you can find calmness and wisdom in your journey of love. If you feel these words touch you, please take a second to click like to spread this message. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click subscribe with the notification bell, to always be the first to receive new shares. Don't forget to leave a comment below, share your feelings or a lesson you learned after listening to this story. Each line you share is a way for us to connect and accompany each other. Now, get ready, because the next part will bring you even deeper insights. Part 3, Detachment and Depth, Loving Without Possession. One of the most misunderstood Stoic principles in love is detachment. Many believe that to be detached is to be distant, to care less, to feel less. But Stoicism never taught indifference, it taught freedom through clarity. To love without possession does not mean to love without passion. It means to love without illusion. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny. Applied to love, this means, you can care deeply for someone, yet accept that they are not yours to own. They are a free being, walking their own path, with their own choices and flaws. When you try to control them, you corrupt the purity of love. When you allow them to be who they are, love becomes a space of freedom, not fear. A Stoic lover practices detached involvement, fully present, fully loving, yet not enslaved by outcomes. They give their heart, but not their peace. They invest in connection, but not in control. This doesn't make love weaker, it makes it resilient. Because when the winds of change come, as they always do, the Stoic heart doesn't shatter, it bends and heals. Modern relationships often fail because we confuse attachment with intimacy. We think that closeness means ownership, and commitment means control. But Stoicism turns that idea upside down. It says, you cannot truly love what you do not allow to be free. To love someone is to witness their becoming, not to mold them into your image, but to stand beside them as they unfold. This is the paradox of Stoic love: the less you cling, the deeper you connect. When you let go of the need to possess, your love becomes an offering, not a demand. You see the other person not as an extension of yourself, but as a mirror that helps you grow. You learn that love is not about keeping, but about being with, fully, honestly, without expectation. And when separation comes, as all things must eventually part, the Stoic does not curse fate. They grieve, yes, but they do not despair. They understand that what was shared was real, meaningful, and enough. For in the Stoic heart, love is not measured by duration, but by virtue, not by forever, but by how deeply you lived while you had the chance. That is the beauty of detachment. It transforms love from possession into presence. It frees you to love completely, without fear of loss. Because love, when unchained from need, becomes something eternal. Part 4, Virtue as the Foundation of Genuine Love. For the Stoics, the highest goal in life was not pleasure, wealth, or even happiness, it was virtue. And virtue, they believed, was the only true good. Everything else, beauty, status, even love, was indifferent unless guided by virtue. This belief reshapes how we understand love, not as an emotional transaction, but as a moral practice. Virtue in Stoicism is composed of 4 pillars: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. When these guide a relationship, love becomes a force of character, not chaos. Wisdom helps you understand your partner's nature and your own limitations. Courage gives you the strength to be honest and vulnerable. Justice ensures fairness, respect, and kindness. Temperance brings balance, so that passion never turns to obsession, and affection never becomes control. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it, if it is not true, do not say it." Imagine what love would be if both partners lived by that rule. No manipulation, no silent games, no deceit, only clarity and integrity. This is not the absence of romance, but the presence of truth. And truth, to a Stoic, is the highest form of intimacy. Most relationships crumble not because of lack of love, but lack of virtue. We betray trust for comfort, we lie for convenience, we blame instead of reflecting. Stoicism invites us to return love to its moral roots, not as a means to personal satisfaction, but as a path of shared virtue. To love virtuously is to help each other become better, calmer, and more whole. In this kind of relationship, both people are students of life, not judges of each other. They seek not to win arguments, but to preserve harmony. They correct each other gently, not harshly. They forgive because they understand human frailty, and they grow together because they share the same moral compass. When love is rooted in virtue, it becomes immune to superficial change. Beauty fades, wealth fluctuates, but integrity, if cultivated, only deepens. Virtue anchors love in what is eternal, the shared pursuit of wisdom and goodness. True love, then, is not about finding someone who makes you happy, but someone who inspires you to be better. For in the eyes of the Stoic, the greatest declaration of love is not, "I need you," but, "I honor you, and I choose to walk beside you in virtue." Part 5, Mutual Growth, Love as a Shared Path of Self-Mastery. In the Stoic view, love is not meant to consume us, it is meant to refine us. Every relationship is an arena for self-mastery, a sacred space where two souls mirror each other's strengths and weaknesses. When both partners embrace this path, love becomes not a distraction from growth, but its deepest catalyst. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In love, this means that you cannot truly connect if you are still enslaved by your impulses, jealousy, fear, or pride. The Stoic lover looks inward first. Instead of asking, "How can my partner make me happy?" they ask, "How can I contribute to peace between us?" They understand that the relationship's harmony depends less on controlling the other person, and more on mastering their own reactions. Mutual growth in a Stoic relationship means both partners see each other not as saviors, but as companions in discipline. They hold each other accountable, not out of judgment, but out of love. When one falters, the other reminds them of reason. When one loses patience, the other offers calm. It's not about perfection, but progress, shared, deliberate, compassionate progress. In today's world, we are told to find someone who completes us. But Stoicism teaches the opposite: find someone who challenges you to be whole. Someone who doesn't fill your emptiness, but reminds you to face it and grow beyond it. Because love that depends on another for completeness is fragile, but love that grows from two complete individuals is indestructible. This kind of relationship is not without conflict. But conflict, through Stoic eyes, is not a threat, it's an opportunity for mutual understanding. When disagreement arises, they don't ask, "Who's right?" but "What truth can we discover together?" Each argument becomes a lesson in patience, humility, and empathy. To grow together, both must commit to reflection, not only about the relationship, but about the self. A Stoic couple may ask each night, "Did I love with wisdom today? Did I act from ego or from virtue?" Through such honesty, love matures, not into something perfect, but something profoundly human and deeply peaceful. For in Stoic wisdom, growth is love's greatest expression. When two people help each other rise above their lower selves, they become not just lovers, but allies in the art of living. That is the heart of enduring love, not the promise of eternal pleasure, but the shared pursuit of eternal improvement. Part 6, The Art of Communication, Speaking with Calmness and Truth. In the realm of love, communication is the bridge between two inner worlds. Yet, most relationships collapse not because of a lack of love, but because of unskilled communication, words spoken in haste, silences filled with resentment, truths buried under fear. The Stoics, long before modern psychology, understood the power of speech and silence. They taught that how we communicate reflects the state of our inner world. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." This simple observation reveals a deep Stoic truth: wisdom begins with listening. In love, this means listening not to reply, but to understand, not to win, but to connect. When we listen with patience, we give the other person the gift of being seen, and that gift builds trust stronger than any argument could. A Stoic approach to communication begins with calmness. Before speaking, the wise lover pauses, they check the tone of their mind. Are they speaking from anger, fear, or ego? If so, silence is better. Words born from turbulence destroy peace. But when we speak from calmness and sincerity, even hard truths can heal. To communicate stoically is to combine honesty with kindness. It means saying what must be said, but in a way that uplifts, not wounds. Stoics reject flattery and manipulation, they value truth above all, yet they deliver it with compassion. In love, this balance is everything. Honesty without gentleness becomes cruelty. Gentleness without honesty becomes deceit. The art lies in merging the two. Marcus Aurelius advised himself, when someone does you wrong, consider what error led them there. In communication, this translates to empathy. Before reacting to a harsh word, pause to understand its root: pain, insecurity, misunderstanding. Such reflection doesn't excuse the behavior, but it allows love to respond with wisdom rather than retaliation. A relationship guided by Stoic communication becomes a sanctuary of truth. There, silence is not a weapon, but a space for clarity. Words are not used to dominate, but to build understanding. Apologies are offered not from pride, but from humility. In such an environment, love breathes freely, because it is grounded in respect. To speak with calmness and truth is not a skill we master once, it's a lifelong practice. But with every patient word, every mindful pause, every honest confession, we build something sacred, a love that listens, understands, and endures. At this point, you may have seen yourself in the stories above, sometimes weak, sometimes strong, and sometimes not knowing what to do in love. But it is those moments that make us real and worthy of respect. If you feel the same, please click like to let me know you are here, accompanying me. And if you haven't clicked subscribe yet, don't hesitate, because every day I will share more stories and new lessons, to help you have a calmer view of love. Now, let's move on to the final part, where we will touch on deeper things. Part 7, Acceptance and Forgiveness, the Stoic Healing of the Heart. No matter how wise, no love is free from pain. Misunderstandings, disappointments, and human frailty will always leave their mark. But Stoicism offers a profound healing path, not through denial or avoidance, but through acceptance and forgiveness. Acceptance, in Stoic thought, is the harmony of the soul with reality. It is the recognition that life unfolds as it must. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs?" In love, this means embracing imperfection, in ourselves and in others. The Stoic lover does not demand a flawless partner or a frictionless journey. They know that every relationship is a dance between two evolving souls, each carrying past wounds and present struggles. To love well is to accept this humanity without judgment. Acceptance is not passivity. It is the courage to see clearly, to recognize when change is needed, and when it is not. When your partner falters, Stoicism teaches you to respond not with bitterness, but with understanding. Ask, "Is this within my control?" If not, then peace must replace protest. If it is, then act with integrity, not anger. Forgiveness, then, is the natural flower that blooms from acceptance. It is not forgetting the hurt, but transforming it through wisdom. Seneca wrote, "Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it." In relationships, holding on to resentment is like drinking poison to punish another. Stoicism reminds us that to forgive is to reclaim our inner tranquility. Forgiveness does not mean tolerating harm endlessly. The Stoic draws boundaries with clarity and respect. They can walk away when virtue demands it, but they do so without hatred. They forgive to be free, not to reconcile at any cost, but to protect the peace of their soul. To accept and forgive is to love with maturity. It means saying, "I see your flaws, I know your wounds, and I choose to meet them with compassion." It means understanding that both of you are students in the same school, the school of life, where mistakes are inevitable, but learning is sacred. Through acceptance and forgiveness, love becomes resilient. It bends but doesn't break. It feels pain but doesn't lose faith. For the Stoic heart knows, every scar, when touched with wisdom, becomes not a mark of failure, but of endurance. Part 8, Love and Freedom, How Stoicism Teaches Us to Let Love Breathe. Every great love begins with attraction, grows through connection, and matures through freedom. But freedom, in love, is often misunderstood. Many people fear that giving freedom means losing the relationship. Yet, as the Stoics would argue, it is only through freedom that love can truly live. Epictetus taught, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. When we bring this truth into love, we realize that our partner's thoughts, emotions, and choices are beyond our full control. The moment we try to possess them, we lose harmony. The moment we accept their autonomy, we gain peace. Freedom in love means allowing the other person to be fully themselves, to grow, to explore, to evolve. It's about trusting the bond, not policing it. It's about believing that love, when authentic, doesn't need to be caged to stay loyal. Stoic love respects individuality because it understands that only two free beings can love without fear. Control is born from insecurity, and insecurity from attachment to outcomes. The Stoic practices letting go of this illusion. They know that trying to keep someone is like trying to trap the wind. In the process, you destroy what made it beautiful. Instead, they love as one holds a butterfly, gently, open-handed, content simply to witness its grace. Freedom also applies to oneself. The Stoic lover doesn't abandon personal purpose in the name of devotion. They maintain balance, nurturing love, yet preserving their own sense of identity and mission. Love should expand who you are, not shrink it. When both individuals honor their own paths, the relationship breathes naturally, rhythmically, like a calm tide. In such love, presence replaces possession. You don't say, "You are mine." You say, "I'm grateful to walk beside you." You don't cling in fear of loss, you cherish in awareness of impermanence. This is love without chains, love that flourishes not because it's held tightly, but because it's trusted deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Love only what happens, what was destined." No greater harmony. To love with freedom is to align with this harmony, to see the other not as your property, but as a fellow traveler in the unfolding of fate. And in this sacred freedom, love doesn't fade, it breathes, it grows, and it endures. Part 9, Facing Loss and Change with Grace. Even the purest love cannot escape the laws of impermanence. People change. Paths diverge. Life takes from us what we once held dear. For most, this is unbearable. But for the Stoic, it is simply part of the rhythm of existence, and the truest test of love's endurance. The Stoics prepared for loss not to become emotionless, but to remain present within it. Epictetus said, "When you kiss your child, say to yourself, tomorrow you may die." He did not mean to kill affection, he meant to awaken gratitude. The awareness of mortality makes every moment sacred. In love, remembering impermanence deepens tenderness, because we know that nothing, no smile, no embrace, no shared sunrise, is guaranteed. Loss, to a Stoic, is not punishment but perspective. It teaches that love was never ownership, only a shared experience in time. To grieve with grace means to allow sadness, but not to let it destroy your peace. Pain is inevitable, suffering, as the Stoics say, is optional. Born from resistance to what is. When relationships end, the Stoic heart asks, what did this teach me about love, about virtue, about myself? Through reflection, sorrow transforms into wisdom. You begin to see that love's true legacy isn't how long it lasted, but how much it awakened within you. Every heartbreak, when viewed through Stoic eyes, becomes an initiation, a call to return to self-mastery, to gratitude, to life itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything that happens, happens as it should." This isn't fatalism, it's acceptance of the natural order. When you embrace change, even painful change, you discover peace beyond possession. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and begin to ask, "What is this teaching me about the art of loving and letting go?" To face loss with grace is to remember that love never truly ends, it changes form. The person may be gone, but what they awakened in you remains. The wisdom, the tenderness, the strength, these become part of your soul's landscape. In this way, no love is ever wasted. So when the time comes to part, the Stoic doesn't curse the ending, they bow to it. They give thanks for what was, and step forward with a heart still open to what will be. For they know that love's purpose is not permanence, it is transformation. And that transformation, when embraced with wisdom, is eternal. Part 10, Enduring Love as a Stoic Path, How to Love, Let Go, and Remain Whole. When all the noise fades, when passion cools, when youth softens, when time strips away illusion, what remains? That is the question Stoic love seeks to answer. And the answer, quietly and steadily, is this: what remains is character. What remains is virtue. What remains is a love that does not need to burn brightly to be worn. The Stoics never rejected love, they purified it. They stripped it of ego, fear, and need, until all that was left was its essence: care rooted in wisdom, affection grounded in virtue. To love in this way is not to deny emotion, but to discipline it. It is not to withdraw from intimacy, but to approach it with eyes open, heart awake, and soul unafraid of loss. An enduring love, as seen through the Stoic lens, is not one that avoids hardship, but one that endures through hardship with grace. It understands that storms are not signs of failure, they are tests of foundation. And when that foundation is built on mutual respect, honesty, and freedom, even the fiercest winds cannot shake it. The Stoic path in love begins with the self. You cannot love another truly if you are at war with your own mind. Self-mastery is the soil of genuine connection, because when you no longer seek someone to complete you, you are finally ready to meet someone as an equal. You stop demanding love as validation, and begin offering it as virtue. You no longer say, "I need you to make me happy," but, "I choose to share my peace with you." And when love ends, as all things do, the Stoic heart remains whole. It grieves, yes, but it does not collapse. It knows that loss is not the opposite of love, but part of its cycle. What has been truly loved is never wasted, it becomes part of the soul's wisdom. In letting go, the Stoic does not lose, they return to themselves, enriched. To live and love stoically is to stand calmly amid change, to give freely without fear, to forgive without bitterness, and to walk away without hate. It is to see love not as possession, but as participation in something sacred, the shared journey toward virtue and understanding. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In the same spirit, waste no more time seeking the perfect love. Be the kind of person who loves well. Be patient when others are harsh, truthful when silence tempts you, forgiving when pride resists. Be calm in the face of uncertainty, gentle amid chaos, and kind even when love is unreturned. For the Stoic, enduring love is not about how long two people stay together, but how deeply they honor the truth between them. It is love as practice, daily, imperfect, sacred. A love that listens before it speaks. That gives before it takes. That remains honest, even when it hurts. That finds peace not in having everything, but in appreciating everything it's been given. So, what is enduring love? It is the quiet strength to stay, and the graceful courage to let go. It is a love that does not depend on possession, but on virtue. A love that, even when life changes, remains whole, because it was never built on fleeting emotions, but on timeless wisdom. And when you love this way, with reason, tenderness, and freedom, you discover something profound. That love and peace were never opposites. They are, in truth, the same thing. Conclusion: the stillness at the heart of love. In the end, enduring love is not found in grand gestures or eternal promises, it lives in the quiet steadiness of two souls who have learned to meet life, and each other, with grace. It is not the absence of conflict or imperfection, but the presence of understanding. It is the kind of love that stays calm when emotions rise, that forgives when pride whispers otherwise, and that keeps choosing kindness even when it's not easy. The Stoic path teaches us that love, like all things, is transient. But transience does not mean emptiness, it means value. The brevity of our days, the fragility of our hearts, make love sacred, not small. When we accept this truth, We stop clinging and start appreciating. We stop demanding and start giving. We stop fearing loss and begin living fully within love's fleeting, beautiful moment. To love stoically is to stand in balance, heart open, but mind clear. It is to nurture affection without attachment, intimacy without control, and connection without dependence. It is a love that liberates both souls instead of binding them. So let us not chase forever, but cultivate depth. Let us not seek perfect partners, but become peaceful ones. For in the end, enduring love is not about holding on, it is about becoming whole enough to let go, yet still love deeply. And that, perhaps, is the most beautiful kind of strength there is. Thank you for watching the whole video. I hope that today's sharing about love will bring you new perspectives and help you gain valuable lessons. If you find the video useful, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and share it with your loved ones. I am very grateful for your companionship, and hope that each video will help you get closer to a happy and lasting love. See you in the next videos. Wish you a wonderful and inspired day.